Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Thank you very much for joining me in this video for another UK series part of a build. Last time out we were working on trying to get a little bit more going on these on this freight route. So we had the junction or the route going all the way out to another farm, and we had one of those little road transport stations at another farm set, although that is not particularly in use at this point in time. And we were just seeing if we could get this running properly and if we could get this working in the way that we want it to. Now at the moment I do not think it is, and as you can see there are trains toing and froing at the moment. I guess I could take a screenshot there. So there are trains toing and froing. You can see that this train is full. I believe that is because I set it to not leave the station in the distance wherever it is near. I was going to say near Asselborough, but it isn't near Asselborough. It's sort of between Asselborough and Carnforth here. I was trying to get it to do something similar in terms of wait till it's full, but hoping that the other one was also full. It hasn't quite worked out to plan, but anyway, it is working and we're going to see what we can do with that. In this video we are going to be working on some bus routes, as I said, and I'm going to be fixing up a few little bits of the railways that we have built so far. Parts that maybe I do not like as much. For example, the viaduct, I think it's a little bit too wobbly. I want to straighten that out going forward, because just looking at maps and looking at the way things are, you do not have viaducts that do weird S wiggles everywhere and things like that. So we need to fix all of that. So make sure you stay tuned to see some more fixing going underway, some more building, some bus routes, and maybe some more farms going in. And I will show you in a moment what I have done off camera. Not a lot, but I have done some to make some progress on the map. Okay, so here we are. Let's have a look at what we have. So the first thing I want to show you is that this is no longer seeming to have a full train, which is kind of annoying. I wanted this to be a full train, but it seems like this is just fallen apart for some bizarre reason. So we need to look into that. In the meantime, this is working rather well. You can see the railway is looking nice. Everything works quite nicely. We went along I believe we took a journey along this route, and you can see already there is 44 food waiting for it to pick up, and this can take 108. So it's almost, by the time it gets here, this is going to be half ready, half full. In fact, it's probably going to be more. I want to see, let's fast forward this a little bit. Let's have a look to see how much is produced by the time the train arrives. So that is now half full at 54. There it is. So it's more than half full. Here comes the train. It seems to do it in little jumps. I've just noticed, look, 59.60, it jumps up and then it pauses. You'll see a jump of 4 and then it will pause. There's another jump of 2. Jump of 1. Okay, it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange, but this is going to stay here and wait. Now eventually we will be using the timetable mod to sort that out. Now off camera I have also, and I started this before last episode, I was making these borders for the farms along the main roads and along the footpaths and public rights of way. But as you can see, I have completed almost all of them, and they have been connected up all the way along. You can see that almost all of them are connected as they should be. There are little bits here and there that I have not done because I've not decided. This one I just completely missed out. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this one right now. So it needs to be done, so I might as well get it done. There we go. Probably turn that in a little bit more. swing that over and see what. Right. Do that up to there, and then connect this up on that corner and connect this one up there. There you go. So that's another one completed. There is a road somewhere that I have missed. I just do not know where. So I've managed to make this all the way around here. You can see all of these are connected. So all we have to do is put the farms in the middle of these. For example, just as an example, there. Things like that. So to do things along those lines is what I need to do. I'm just going to do these here whilst I am waiting. There we go. Or I say whilst I'm waiting, whilst I'm here, I might as well get some of these done. And you can see that because it's the edge of the map, that does not look too terrible, although some of them may be a little too short. But those are things that I'm going to work on. So you can see all of this is done. I've managed to get it up into this corner where perhaps you'll have a farm that may be something like this shape. I'm just going to shove that in. There you go. The idea behind this is to try and get these farms looking fairly realistic, and obviously having. One of the things I did is I went for a drive, and I took a look at a number of these farms to see what sorts of things, how the farms are, and what sort of designs they have, and looking out in the country. So for example, there are some farms that go up hills like this. This is something that does happen. That's terrible, isn't it? So there are farms that will do things like this. That is a valid farm. So you could be driving along. Let's say this was a road, and you would see a farm that goes down a hill. And I did see quite a few of these. So those kind of things I've had a look at, and you can see that I've made it, for the most part, all the way to Litchfield, and that's where things start opening up again. So around the Litchfield areas where I have managed to get to. In fact, I can connect this one up right here. There we go. And I suppose connect that up. So this was the part that I was working on last. And you can see that I've connected some of the bits up and not the other. So I've done all of that. There's little bits here that still need to be done, but I've started working on, for example, this area as well. You can see that, and that section's done. This one is not. I can certainly just go ahead and connect these up whilst I'm at it. So yes, that was done off camera. The idea is, before the next video, where we're probably going to be making more railways, I would like to have the area up to Litchfield and West Mersey, this entire area completed, and then if I can, I'd like to get the area between Bentham and Alford also completed. And oddly enough, as soon as we get to here, I believe this is halfway across the map. Yeah, I think this is something like I think so, anyway. This, yep, just here. So once we get to Berwick upon Tweed, that area there, that is halfway across the map. So we would have half the map done at that kind of level, which is great. Which, I mean, that means that if we're halfway there, that means that I can start working on trying to get some mainline things in, or other bits and bobs like that. The other part that needs to be done is this area in Macclesfield. Now you can see I have managed to make the paths all the way along here and here, but not up there. So this is what I'm going to do right now to start off. Let's get these bits done. I'm going to maybe cut this across here. And again, not doing this on time lapse, just due to lack of time. No other reason. Otherwise, I would have done this all on a time lapse. But these things take quite a substantial amount of time to do. particularly on time lapse, this would be, you know, I could do this for hours on time lapse, and that would only make three and a half hours of video would only make about, I think, 3.5 hours of recording would only make an hour of video, which is not a lot if you do not have 3.5 hours to spare at this point in time. But hopefully there will be a point where I can do some time lapse once again, because obviously there will be some areas that most certainly do need to be time lapsed. There we go, job done. And then I guess we can just connect this up like that, and that is that section completed. Now all I need to do is this section here. So we'll go along here. There's a train going along the viaduct. That train looks tiny for such a big viaduct. That train looks ridiculously small. But there you go. I suppose that is the way it goes. Now I've downloaded a few additional mods, both British style mods for housing and things like that, but also I've managed to find some. Is that all right? I think that will do. I've managed to find some mods for rivers. Now, let me see if I've got them up. Is it a paint tool for river? And I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but I'm hoping it works out well. I think it might be this. Let's see. Yeah, see, I could just make water, I could just make rivers like that, so it doesn't move, as you can see, it's just a texture. But yeah, if I was to do that, for example, we'd have streams, which might be nice to have, particularly maybe off the river. So if we were to, yeah, try and do that and get it into the river. And you can see it sort of matches what we have. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that. As you can see, it doesn't quite have the style from the river, and that's what I need to be aware of. But if you think that's a good idea, please let me know if you think that's a good idea to try and do, and I'll try and put some water in places, because I think it's going to look rather nice. At least, yeah, if you're going along here and there's a little stream that goes down. Do that. A little stream going underneath a viaduct or through a river. I think it might look nice. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that, and I'm fairly sure there's another river one somewhere. Is it maybe in assets? Why do I have capital? River, no. Stream, maybe? Stream. Apparently we have that. Oh, has that just crashed the game? Nope. Stream, no, nothing. So yes, I think it's just this one. And I would like to. Is it just water? You got scaling low, scaling medium, scaling high. Let's have a quick look at these. So that's scaling medium, scaling high, scaling low. I think scaling low would work best. Still, still does not seem to work. Still stale, still fresh. See, that wouldn't be bad for if you're just going along here and you see some water. Doesn't look too bad, although this one does. Maybe that is because we need some smoothing. No. Okay, so still water is a no-go. It is going to have to be this kind of water, and I think scaling low would be the way to go for this. But yes, that is kind of the idea I'm trying to look at. And of course, this isn't going to look anywhere near as good as these, which is the other problem. It isn't going to look anywhere near as good, so we need to figure out how to do this. Do I try and do a little a riverbed sort of thing? I'm not entirely sure. This very much looks opaque, and that is going to be an issue. Anyway, let us erase this and get back to what we were doing. So we'll do the viaduct next, and the reason we're going to do the viaduct next is because I can then leave it playing whilst I'm creating bus routes, so we can see exactly what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this train to get over the viaduct, I'm going to wait until it gets to about here, and then I shall pause the game and we shall work on figuring out the new viaduct. Here it comes, and pause. There we go. Right, so what we need to do is we need to apparently get that dinging in our ear constantly. So what we need to do, first of all, you can see here that wobble on the viaduct right there. I'm not keen on that. In fact, if I bring up track speeds, track speed limits layer, this is weird. Very poor, very good. Okay, fine. And it just gives us, I think I've changed this. That is why. Doesn't matter. There you go. You can see the wobble rather clearly now. There and then there. So I want to try and straighten that out, and I think that is going to look much better. And from this sort of angle, it looks even worse. So let's go ahead and see if we can straighten all of this out. In addition to that, we do have the entire thing going downhill. So I'm not sure if that is such a good idea either. Obviously it has to go downhill, but I'm wondering if I can keep it up on an embankment just a little bit longer and then see what I can do from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demolish, first of all, the entire viaduct. This can only go well. I cannot see this going wrong at any point, surely. Of course it's going to go very, very wrong. Right. Now the first idea is, what if I can start this a little bit lower? So for example, at that height, what happens if I grab this at 40 miles per hour? Oh dear. Stay level at 40 miles per hour, and let's find the right internal error. Okay. Let's try not to crash our title here, our game. Right, so we have small, medium, big. let's try and change this up a little and try to go for. No, medium's probably the one I want. With gates or with walls? Oh, I think fence gates like that might just look nicer. Right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to jump across here. Except that is completely the wrong angle. I would like to do that. You can see where it needs to go. It's fairly... See, it's still fairly tall. I feel like we could reduce that height quite significantly still. So how do I do that? For that, I would need to take off another block. There. And now, again, we want to have that level. We'll start. Let's start with this. And you can see exactly where it went. Certainly see that. So let me do this. That is staying flat. So that is much lower now. I feel like this is just all going to be recreating a viaduct. And then it is it this one? I think so. The sandy coloured one. Across like that. Ooh, that could be a problem. There. That is what I would want. Now that is lower. Still not low enough though. You can see here. I want it so that it is these connect. If I can get it that low, that is going to be ideal. So let's get rid of that one. Okay. We will start. I wish the default on this was level. That would be really nice if we could set the default just to level. Okay. There we go. There we go. Still flat. Is that really flat though? Z of 70. So it is flat. It just doesn't... I suppose the way the road and everything's going, it does not look flat. I suppose it's because this is going downhill. This is going downhill, that's staying flat, and it just looks like that is going uphill. Right. Let's try this again. Sandy coloured one. Bridge pillar collision. We can fix that. Totally different type of junction now. Still not where I want it to be. For this, it's... That is what straight would be for that. Although it is lower, just is not quite low enough. Could do that. What would that do if we just continued out in this direction? That's level the entire way. And what is the difference there in height? You are at, I'm guessing you're going to be at 70 point something. In the meantime, you are at 42.6. Okay, is there anywhere where we can... No. This entire area is at 67. There is not much we can do. It is going to have to go downhill. But if we can get it to do this straight line and have it go downhill at just have it starting lower, then the downhill is not too shabby. So what I'm going to try to do is, let's do a straight line along here. Was it this one? I think so. Look at that. Now that is actually interesting. Because look at what that viaduct does. It goes along there. And then it ends up at ground level here. Where we could, in theory, have a level crossing. Now that is interesting. Instead of having a bridge. And so you're driving along there, you see the viaduct open up. But at this point, the viaduct ends, and you are essentially at... Now it starts digging into the ground, but you are at the level of... Alternatively, we can do that. That is the other option. Have the entire thing remain a viaduct, which I sort of I prefer that. Although the idea of having it remain as flat as possible for as long as possible is also quite appealing. It just means the viaduct is a little more, I suppose, just a little smaller. And on top of that, it doesn't go uphill, so it doesn't look. But just for some reason, this whole uphill viaduct is looking a little bit odd to me. But let's see what... What does it do if I did that? A smooth viaduct. It isn't straight, but it has a smooth curve on it, which I think that is okay, as long as it's not wobbling. And again, I could make this lower. I think the opportunity to make this lower is quite... There isn't anywhere where it's going to block any heavy traffic. No. Okay, I'm going to make that even lower. Maybe, right, so we were going to be working on bus routes. I'm now going to be doing this. That looks a bit lower, right? 70.6, 70 point. Why does that keep telling me all of this is 70.6? I do not think so. 70.6. No, this whole thing is 70 point. Because that was created to be absolutely flat. Right, I am not making it any lower simply because that was actually flat in the first place. We were not climbing a gradient of any sort. So the only thing I can think of doing is, instead of climbing up a gradient, we take this back. Right, we take this back to about here, which is why I let the train go back there just in case I had to do this. We then... Yeah, there is a drop. Right, and bring that down to 66 meters. Let's find out what we can get away with. A drop of that much? Could that work for us? Okay. And now you do this. And as you can see, that is clearly not going to be able to bridge. So it needs to be higher than 60 meters. Could we try at whatever this height was, which is 61 meters? No, I do not want it to be 61. I want it to be 60 meters. Now that... See, now, in my opinion, I think that should be viable. I think that that is a viable railway crossing. But for some reason, it does not like that. So, what do we do instead? So I think that might just be a limitation of Transport Fever 2 then. So at this point you are at... Clever. At this point we've brought it down 3 meters. Okay. Let's see what that keeps. It says 67 to 59. I'm not certain why it's done that. So let's say 64 there. So we've dropped 8 meters and then it is happily going into bridge territory. That is happily now going into bridge territory, and that is a much better bridge setting. Let's see if we can make it go a little bit lower. Well done. Let's try at 61 meters. It's now 59. Okay, 60, fine. Will it still... Oh, this could be an interesting one. No, again, I think 60 is just not... It just needs a little bit... Okay, 61, perhaps? That's sticking at 60 now. Well done. For the third time. Alright, that's 62. That's 63, right. That's 61. Let's see if it takes 61. No. Wait, it does. It can. And there we go. That is the height we require. Right. So let's try and get this. We'll sort out this wobble in a minute. But first of all, what we need to do is get that going across, which it does. Okay, good. And then in that case, if we were to create something that goes across and joins up like that, and then does the whole medium bridge, a low bridge, but that looks big enough to get a lorry through. It's just a low bridge. That is... yeah, and then we can have warnings. Occasionally, we do have warnings on roads for low bridges. So, this might be a road that lorries cannot come down. If they have to get to Ely, unfortunately, their only way to get to Ely is going to be the long route, which is going to be from Maxfield, go down that way towards West Brom and then back through to Ely, because this road has something that is unsuitable for them. That being said, I think we can have lorries down here. Right. Let's do a brighter colour one. This has taken far too long, but that is unfortunately the way it goes. And it does help. It does very much help that is not as bad on that reduction as the other one. So it's going from 43 to 61 as opposed to from 43 to 71. That's an entire 10 meters reduced on that. We could even, in theory, we could even bring this up a bit and try and do something like 50 to 61. But for now, I'm going to leave it like that. Now I just need to do a height check here. How do I do a height check? So you're 50, right? You're at 51. You are at 51. This is 10 meters. The top of that is 10 meters at 61. Take away a couple of meters, you have 8 meters. You've got plenty of, that is plenty of room to have a train going back and forth. That's also wobbly. Why did you do that? That is not... No, that is not what I wanted at all. Great. I think maybe this episode is going to be called Viaduct Woes. We were supposed to do other things, but it's just turned into Viaduct Woes. Right. The first thing we need to then do is level this off somehow and straighten it up. Let's do that. What does that do? That brings it to 64. We do not need it at 64, so 63, 62. There. I just remember that is something we can do. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to aim this directly there, so we have essentially a straight shot at this. Do that. And now... You're ridiculous. No. No, no, no. How am I going to pull this one off? Unless I do this. Here's the option. First things first, aim that directly towards that. And the target is, let's say the target is going to be, yeah, not that. The target is whatever height that is. Doesn't tell me. Doesn't tell me because this has a radius on it. But we will keep that balanced for this, just for this period. Aim that towards there. Right. So, off you go onto this. A low, wide bridge for some reason. Could I have a narrower bridge, perchance? No, apparently not. Well, that's a nice colour. I might keep that one instead. Any chance I can have a narrower bridge here? No. Wait, yes. That's one. That's a better bridge. Right. Let's try again. Is that better? Yes, that is better. It doesn't have any weird... You can see it doesn't do any sort of S-shaped snake. It just goes around and then roughly straight all the way until it joins onto that. Well, that was a bit of a nightmare. Right, let's see what I can let's see what we can do if we now run this. So a nice low bridge, that's fine. What we could do is cut off this bit of the farm there, put some trees there, and so on and so forth. But I think that looks far better. And I'm going to actually get an angle here for a screenshot, because all of that work requires a screenshot. So there we go. Now we have a bridge, and I'm hoping this bridge now stays exactly like this for the remainder of the series, although I'm guessing it's going to end up becoming a double bridge, and that's going to be a problem, and things are going to go horribly wrong or whatever. Here comes the train. Time to get a screenshot, time to get a screenshot. Please be a good one. Hopefully I can see the train. I should be able to, even though it's a small train. Here it comes. Yeah, that works aside from this bit here. Why do you do this to me? Right, we will fix this, because I have to fix this. Gets rid of that section and that section. No, okay. 3 sections gone. Not quite that big. There we go. I can see a gap forming. There's the gap. Okay. Spin it in just a little. There's the gap done. There we go. Okay. Now, before anything goes wrong, I'm going to save that. Although I'm guessing this is probably already at the end of this particular series. A series? No. Episode. The series is continuing. After all this effort already, I think the series has to continue. Right. There we go. I think that does look a lot better. Hopefully you guys agree that that looks much better than it did before. And I know it took a long time to sort that out, but I think just overall that is a much better design. Let us end this video with, let's make some farms. I know I was going to do the other stuff, but let's do this for this video. So as I said, I've been looking at farms and how farms work and the designs for some of these things. It is strange because I always thought that farms were more, you know, square in shape as best as they could be. And then of course I learnt that they tend not to be so square in shape. But now, having looked around at farms in the countryside, well, of course they're in the countryside, but sort of between towns and between villages, like we have, I suppose, right now, it just seems like they're just all sorts of shapes. It's like nobody really cares on what the shape of a farm is. I also thought that perhaps it followed contours of I thought it might follow the contours of a particular hill. It seems like the farms just do what they want. The boundaries of farms are whatever you want them to be, however you want them to be. It doesn't really, there's nothing that really pays any heed to the actual shape of the countryside. Some of them do follow, like I've done with some of these, they do follow the land a little bit, but other ones, it's like, just like, for example, let's say, I'm trying to find a good example here. I cannot find an example. Okay, yeah, this will do, actually, right here. You can see that this is going uphill. Now, normally I would put maybe a farm that would go along like that, following the contours of the hill. Some of them just do not do that. So for this one, for example, I'm just going to do a farm that goes down like that and then connects up. Oh, kind of wanted that to be like a straight line. There you go. That's it, just does that. And then from there, oh, be careful with these. I'm just going to do a farm that goes along like this because it feels like it. There, that farm feels like doing that. And then from there, we'll just build other farms out. That, we'll do some, we'll connect up a farm there, and we'll do another farm to match up with this line. We'll do a farm along here, although that is a little bit... Why is it saying construction not possible? We'll do one like this. There you go, there and there. So you have a weird shaped farm, but it just seems to work. And then, oh, this farm looks a bit strange. Let's go ahead and do that to the farm. And that there. And up we go, up here, up to that. And sure, why not? We'll follow this line and we'll go. So the farm was there and it was there, and probably, obviously, we're going to cut out some of these, but I'm sure people still have farms where those are. And look, that's it. That's some farmland done. And oh, we want to make it a little bit, make the farms a little bit smaller. Well, there we go. We'll do one like that. And let's say somebody decided, oh, we're going to buy some land like this, and there you go. There's your farm. And then somebody didn't like this one, so they cut that farm in that. And yeah, that will do. That will do nicely. So there you go. There's some farms. This one looks a little bit big, so someone decided, oh no, I'm going to buy a bit of this farm. So they cut the farm out along this line up to there. And then somebody wanted to split that farm in two, but this farm remained as large as it ever was. There you go. And that's just sort of how the farms work. And I'm learning more and more about how these farms work. And it is interesting to see these different styles. And it just all together, it is just making a very, very nice, it's forming a very nice picture for a British style map. But I think I'm going to leave it right there. We didn't get around to doing the bus stops because the viaduct was being extremely tricky. It was a very pesky viaduct to get done, but we got the viaduct done in the end, and I think it was worth it, particularly as we now have this nice low bridge. And I do like having low bridges like this. Again, just to check, this is at 51. Wait, what? This is at 60, so we have 9 meters. Now, okay, so we'll have 9, 8, 7. Realistically, the height of a truck is only going to be probably 2.5 meters, 3 meters, maybe. I think it'd be about 3 meters. So we could just put a sign here, warning, do not go past 10 foot or whatever it is. Low. Let's have a look if we've got one of those. We never know. Might have one of those. Low. Oh no. Low bridge assets. There you go. That's it. So we could height percentage. No. What am I trying to do? Height from track, distance from track. There, like that. See? 4.4 meters. You cannot go over 4.4 meters. I think that's probably reasonable, and you just stick that on this, but I'm just going to perhaps place a low bridge sign right there. Rotate. What? Oh, that's rotating it the wrong way. I suppose I can just rotate it by doing that. There you go. So you're coming along there, low bridge. Oh yeah, better be careful. Better be careful about that. And that's the kind of detailing I will put in at some point. 4.4 meters. Well, if that's 9 meters in total, I think that 4.4 meters is about right. I think I've got this roughly correct. But anyway, I'm going to end it right there. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Is there a train coming the other direction? Let's fast forward this. The reason being is I might try and get another screenshot maybe of the entire viaduct. Yeah, I think one of the things is that sign shouldn't exist just yet. But maybe to get an entire picture of the viaduct. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever 2. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Hopefully this viaduct is one that everybody approves of, and of course let me know if you think that viaduct is not quite right. I'm just looking at it again to try and make sure. No, it does look fairly right. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I will see you next time in Transport Fever 2, where we will get those bus networks up and running in all of the cities. And then we'll see from there how that improves the throughput on our railway lines. So, as I said, that is all from me. I'll see you next time.